Okay, attempting to film these kind of more independent brand type eyeshadow palettes. For whatever reason, I don't know what it is, they're all huge. So let's get started. Okay, hopefully this will give you like a better gauge of everything we've got going on here. Okay, we're gonna start off with Persona. She has, we'll do a palette first. So this is called the Identity palette. Looks like this. And this is the inside of it. This is a neutral palette. I would even say neutral cool. When I use this, I can't get a lot of, I mean, I can get one or two warm looks. Like I probably veer towards those two shades and then maybe pick one of these. So it really does go cool on me. So I feel like while I love the formula of everything, I might declutter this because I don't reach for it because the shades aren't like my preference. I mean, I'm basically waiting for her to release like a warm palette. So this, I believe, is from her Color Theory line. I picked up the one that was more warm toned. And because there's only 5 shades in it, it had one shimmer metallic and then one matte, and they were very, very similar. Like when I put them on my lid, it just looked like the same color. So I returned it, and I have this one. I can't remember the name of it right now actually, but obviously everything will be in the description. This is an all matte one. Her matte formula is pressed really hard. So when you swatch, you don't get really beautiful swatches, but it does perform well. It is a little dusty because it is drier. But I mean, there's just something about her brand. She releases very few items at once. Sometimes it'd be one item, maybe it's two. But I really like what she's doing with her brand. So on top you have that like Color Theory palette. Again, swatches are not going to be amazing, but they perform really well. So I'm keeping that, but I'm not going to keep the Identity palette. So you can see the swatches are nice. Her shimmers are really, really beautiful. And then again, her mattes are pigmented, but drier. Next up, we have BH Cosmetics, the Desert Oasis and Royal Affair. Okay, so Desert Oasis is something I picked up because, I mean, a lot of people talk about it. And I've never really bought anything from BH Cosmetics before because it just seemed to me like one of those, like, you know, it's like very affordable. So I feel like the ingredients are kind of like, you know, and not that there's anything wrong with that. There's tons of, if you saw my drugstore declutter, I love tons of drugstore eyeshadow palettes, but this just seems something that like a kind of run of the mill, overly hyped. And while I do like the formula of like all these shimmers, they're very high in dimethicone, so like you can really feel like they feel great, but you can feel them like on your finger. And for me, my skin does not like high dimethicone. So if I were to wear these, I would end up with milia so quickly. I mean, obviously I wouldn't wear them every day. I tend to switch out my eyeshadow palettes on a daily basis. It also comes with a whole side that's like face. So that's also good, but again, high dimethicone formula. So on my face, I'm definitely not doing that. But the colors are pretty, and the reason I'm not keeping it is I would probably use 1, 2, 3, 4 shades. Everything else I'm kind of like whatever about. So the top 2 rows are the Desert Oasis. So like really great pigment. They perform really well. There's not enough in here to keep me interested or to keep it in my collection because I really wouldn't reach for it. Like if I'm thinking, oh, what palette do I want to use? It's not this one. Okay, the next one is the Royal Affair. I was really attracted to the colors in here. Like maybe 30% of them. So I was like really like into wanting to see what that green looked like. These kind of mustardy shades are really up my alley. These kind of burnt sienna type colors and peaches. But the more I looked at it, it was almost like, I don't know if you guys fall into this like trap sometimes where like this thing, the background of the palette, almost, I guess you can call it packaging, makes you want the colors more because you're attracted to that. But if you were to just lay this palette, like show these eyeshadows against like a white background, I probably would not even be interested. So I think I put it in order into BH Cosmetics around the holidays of last year. So there are really good deals going on. So it's not like I was like out a lot of cash when I made this purchase, but again, same thing. Like I like the colors in here, but the formula is kind of like inconsistent across. Like some of the mattes are great, some of the mattes are okay, and then there's like these two shades that I would just avoid basically. So I'm gonna declutter this one also. And the bottom two rows are some shades from the Royal Affair. Okay, next we're gonna do Ace Beaut. I think that's how you pronounce it, right? Is it Beaut or Beaut? Ace Beaut? Anyway, I have 3 of these, how do you explain it? Blossom Passion, Paradise Fallen, Classical Paradise. We'll start with Blossom Passion. This is my favorite one, I'll tell you this. These colors are so, I feel the camera's like being not fair to you because it's not showing you how bright they are, but so ColourPop has released that watermelon kind of palette, I think, in this week. I don't know when this video is going to go up, but I am very attracted to that one as well. I'm very attracted to reds. So I'm going to give you some swatches. They're gorgeous. This looks like black, but I'm going to show you in the swatch. It's like this plum, very misleading, but a very nice surprise. So those are the swatches. Now, stuff gets a little dusty here. These are dry pressed, like very dry, but really good pigment, really unique colors. And here's that black. So it's like almost this very bruised, kind of dried blood color. So really fun keeping. Okay, I gotta get a move on. I have so many eyeshadow palette videos. We need to just kind of try and condense. I want to do swatches, but I also need to realize time. And I swear, after I swatch about like 10 palettes, my hand just like changes color, and it's like things start looking weird. So okay, this is the Paradise Fallen. So I turned the overhead lighting off, so hopefully that helps out. So this one, okay, so these two and the one I just showed you, they came like all together as like a bundle. So it's like not like I was gonna choose. So if I had to choose, I would have chosen probably the first one and maybe this one as a purchase, since this was part of the deal, just made it really like worth it. So in this palette, I really only like this shade. The rest of them are like I said, the formula is drier, so they don't like swatch beautifully. And I prefer like say the Huda Beauty, the Amethyst Obsessions, like the purples in there, or maybe the purples I get in say some of like my drugstore palettes, or ColourPop. ColourPop has a lot of beautiful purples, so I'm gonna declutter this one. Okay, this one is Classical Paradise. This one is really fun. I was really attracted to the colors in here, but once I received it, I realized I was more into maybe like these 4 and then that shade. So I'm gonna declutter this one. So the top is Paradise Fallen, and these are Classical Paradise. This is the Ace Beauty Quintessential palette. It's the very first palette I ever picked up from them. And there's quite some time between picking up this one and picking those up. So this is beautiful. I absolutely love it. I think, I'll be honest, the packaging is what drew me in. But the colors are all so fun. I probably use every color in here, like whenever I do a look, except for maybe that one. But everything else, I like reach for. Even this. Whenever you see kind of like brighter pinks or blues or purples, and if you think, oh, maybe she wouldn't use them, as in like me, I tend to use these like in the crease. So I've mentioned this in a video before where it's like, I'll do like an everyday basic eye, but then I'll pop something like this, either right along the lash line, like I'll pick the top or the bottom, or it'll be like blended into like the outer crease. So it's like subtle, but it's there, and it really like changes the look of your eye. So I'm gonna give you swatches. I'm keeping this one. I have my door open because it's so nice today, so you guys hear birds. That's what that is. But this is swatches of the Quintessential. Next is the Lime Crime Venus XL. I love this palette. It's newer to my collection. I got it this year. I think I had the, you know, when you redeem your points at Ulta, so I had $125, and this is one of the items I picked up. It is so beautiful. Let me see if I can get myself out of this frame without, you know, no, whatever. I want you to see the colors. They're so good. And here, what sets them apart, like even though I do think these shades are really beautiful, it's like this like rose, yeah, I guess like a very rose-based palette, but their formula is excellent. And here are swatches. when you use these, they're just so good. And how like this wine shade, I don't know if it's gonna show up properly, but it is just, whew. If you have green eyes, I have like hazel eyes, you just, wow, like this palette does a lot for you. Here we have the Dose of Colors Francation. I'm surprised this is still like, I think it's still available. I guess they made more product, which is nice. So I love Dose of Colors. In my kind of small eyeshadow palette declutter, you saw a whole bunch there, and I don't think I decluttered anything from them. So this is beautiful. Everything about it is great. It's so good. These like shimmer, metallic, whatever you want to, I would call them metallic, are so beautiful. Like, wow. I would say, I mean, Pat McGrath, her formula is like top notch for me, but this is pretty close. Like these shimmers are gorgeous. So top row and second row, I want to do some of the mattes on the second row so you could see, but I mean, the shimmers are beautiful. And this shade over here has like a shift into like purple. So next is the KKW Beauty Classic Blossom. I really like this palette. I got this in December. It reminds me of kind of like a summarized version of the Huda Beauty Nudes palette, but with like a little bit more of like, you know, there's a little bit of dark in here, but these shades really remind me of it, where things kind of look muted, but when you apply to the eyes, it gives off like a different color. Like they're slightly like pinker, and they're really pretty. I like her formula. Her palette is also quite heavy, heavier than what you would expect when you see something in cardboard packaging like this. So I think that was like a nice touch, but I really like this. Now, this is one of those palettes where like, it's gonna make it through this declutter, but if I ever declutter maybe like in another year, I might, you know, someone was growling. Where was I? Right. If I do a declutter in like a year, maybe this wouldn't make it through. Because I feel like I would get more eyeshadow palettes that I prefer over this. But for now, I do reach for this though, so I'm going to keep it. I mean, they're just really good. So this is the Violet Voss hashtag. Okay, so if you like purples and kind of amber, orange, a little bit of gold, the top row is all matte, so that you kind of, that's kind of like your base. But everything else is really colorful and really, really nice. I'm keeping this one. This is the Like a Boss palette. This one veers a little more neutral. Like, not neutral, maybe like warm natural. You do have like your pops of green down here, but I just really love the formula of their shadows. The mattes are creamy, the shimmers are creamy. Everything is really nice and blends. They just blend really well, and the pigment is like, it really shows up. It doesn't blend away or anything. So the top are swatches from hashtag, and the bottom are swatches from Like a Boss. They're just all beautiful. I think there's like one kind of duochrome shade in each one, but I just love their eyeshadows. Their formula is so good. So this is a palette called Comet Crush, and how cool is the packaging? I mean, it is cardboard, but this kind of sticker that's been lasered on is really cool. So it's by this brand, which I can't really pronounce, but I will link below. Whoa, I will link it below. This was sent to me a while ago, but I really love it. And what's unique is pretty much every shade in here is a duochrome, and it is so fun. So these are the swatches. You can see the shift in like every shade. Love. If you have this, you just pop anything like a neutral shade in the crease, and then you are good to go. Like, everything is so pretty. This is the Golden Gatsby palette from LA Splash. This was released on Ulta maybe late last year, early this year, something like that. I really like it. The packaging is really cool. It's late, guys. I'm in a weird mood today. I really like this. I feel like reviews on this are 50-50. I feel like a lot of people don't even know that LA Splash has come out with like new makeup. Back in the day, maybe like 10 years ago, when I was getting into makeup, LA Splash had a whole line. They were kind of an alternative edgy line, and I was obsessed with their like eyeshadow primer. And they kind of went away, and they've come back. Everything is more expensive, like double their pricing from before. So they're like not quite high end, but they're not quite drugstore. They're kind of like how Pixie prices their stuff. So while reviews are mixed, I do like this palette. I think the mattes are really smooth, and like these down here are flaky. like these two, maybe even that one. This one's smoother, but I mean, I think they're very interesting like textures and I like them. So those are swatches. Next up is the Latte palette from Dominic Cosmetics. So the formula is just bomb. I mean, creamy mattes, really beautiful shimmers, just, and she did like a really good job of kind of adding these two pops of color, and like they really play well. They're not like overly bright that would like make you veer away and feel like, oh my god, it's like clown makeup, but it's just enough that it gives you that like extra something that makes your eyeshadow look stand out. So good. I mean, keeping. Those are swatches. You know how sometimes when like you look at these swatches, you can just tell the quality of a palette by swatches. Oh gosh, just wait for the pantograph. But keeping, obviously. Okay, so this is from Opv Beauty, and this is the Yamoha palette. I think that's how you pronounce it. I do like this. However, it kind of reminds me of my Juvia's Place palettes, and I do prefer those to these. So I'm going to declutter this one. Top row is swatches. Next up is the Picante palette from Kiara. First of all, oh, obsessed with the packaging, like so good. And then the colors are just so me. Like I'm very attracted to everything here. Purple, orange. The top row is a little gold, but like the golds in here also include a lot of mustard shades that I like. So I am going to keep these. These kind of remind me of like MAC eyeshadows. Like they're a little drier. They don't have tons of pigment, but they perform well. And I think a lot of people could use them. I feel like a lot of times when eyeshadows are very pigmented or very creamy or dusty, I think people who are beginners in eyeshadow or don't have a lot of experience with applying makeup, there's an aversion to them because it seems too difficult and too messy. So here are swatches on the second row of Picante, and it's just so easy to use. I really like it. Okay, speaking of Juvia's Place, we're gonna move on to this brand. We have the two Warrior palettes. Warrior 1. This is the inside. I mean, just stunning and easy to use. You can always create a beautiful look. You can create so many different looks. You can go smoky. You can go like, you know, office appropriate. You can just do like, you know, fun stuff with this. You can go really warm toned. I love it. Pan size is huge. Even this part, like this part of the palette is so pretty, right? Oh, I just love seeing brands come up. When you can see like a brand grow, it's so fun. Okay, this is Warrior 2. Oh, when I saw the shades here, I was just like, oh my God, love. It's so good. I mean, I think I got them together in a bundle. So, I mean, Juvia's Place, they're always doing sales. You never have to pay full price. So the top is Warrior 1. The bottom is Warrior 2. Just beautiful, easy, pigmented, keeping both. This is the Nubian 2. This is the palette I was referring to when I was showing you the Opv Yamoha. This is what I thought it looked similar to, but I prefer this one to that. This next one is called the Masquerade. They do have this in a mini, so you don't have to get this like Monster Mama, but I got it when it was released, so obviously I would recommend the smaller one because I don't know that you would need this larger one, but again, also kind of similar, but even more brighter. Just lots of love for this brand. So the top row is the Nubian 2, and then these down here are the Masquerade. Just really great bright palettes. I would really recommend this brand if you're like, you have a lot of palettes you enjoy, but you just need some brights that aren't too expensive, that perform really well. I would direct you towards Juvia's Place. 2 from Melt Cosmetics. We have the Gemini and the 27. Their packaging on both are just stunning. This is the Gemini. These shadows are all very, very soft, and I almost destroyed this one when I swatched it. Yeah, this is a beautifully curated color story. It's so good. And I know they have like the smoke sessions, but I want to say like more than half those colors I wouldn't use. So I even though I like some of the colors, I wouldn't get it. And this is $27. Again, just gorgeous. So the top is Gemini and the bottom is $27. I picked these up off of Friends Beauty. If you're signed up to their website, you already get 10% off of everything. And then there was like a code for like another 10 or 20% off, and I got these, so I feel really good about my purchase. Okay, so this is a Melt palette. Now I wouldn't have purchased this for my stacks, but I think I got it for a really good deal. It was like $11 or something. So it was worth it to me for that, to be able to like kind of have my stacks out. They're all magnetic. So this one is the Rust stack. And this one is the Dark Matter stack. Now these retail for like what, almost the same price as like the entire palette that I just showed you, but I honestly think that the quality of the stacks are better. Like they are really, really good. Really good. And I'm really excited they're gonna be at Sephora. Like that's pretty amazing. So the top is the Rust stack and the bottom is Dark Matter. I mean, these are creamy. They feel luxe. They are so good. Okay, so moving on to Colored Raine. This is the Safari Raine palette. This is my newest acquisition and I love it. I think I've showed it to you guys in a vlog. Everything in here. I just love every shade. Even this one that looks like it's not something I would enjoy. You'll see a swatch. It's not what it looks like. And then my other favorite is the Queen of Hearts palette. And this is what that looks like. I'm keeping both of these. Now, I would say that this is what, their first palette they released, was it? And then, well, no, maybe some other ones, but this is one of the first. And the Safari Raine is much more recent. I do think that the formula has improved. Like, I think so. So the top is Safari Raine and the bottom is Queen of Hearts. I just think the mattes have improved. But love these. Okay, these Colored Raine palettes are like the 6 pans. This is Beauty Rust. That's the inside of Beauty Rust. Smoke Show. And Berry Cute. So as you can see, a lot of these look like fairly untouched because I've probably used them like 0.5 times. I don't know what it is. I love the shadows and I think the formula is really good. Like it's how Colored Raine eyeshadows are. They're really good. But for whatever reason, I just don't reach for them. I feel like it's because outside, well, maybe not even the Beauty Rust. I need more than just this palette to create a look. So for me, because I'm not like, I don't know, I'm not avant-garding my makeup all the time. It's hard for me to reach for these and think this is what I'm gonna use today, like, and this is all I need. So even though quality is amazing, I think I'm just gonna declutter all of these. Lastly, from Colored Raine is the Cheers to the Beauty. This is like something that I like never wanted or thought I would want, but they ran a promotion where it was like 20-ish bucks, maybe a little over that. It wasn't like it was one of like the best prices that I had seen. There was like free shipping or, well, I don't know. I'm trying to justify it to you guys. But like I did not need to purchase this palette. This is not something, but now that I have it, I really like it. I feel like it kind of has like your neutrals here, like you can put down the base of your eye and then you can just pick any of these like shimmers. Like let's just, I mean, they're foiled. They're like really highly metallic. And then you can make that your accent. This is a beautiful like navy blue sparkle. Like if you are, I mean, this is a lot for me. Like if I had bigger eyes, I would probably be more inclined to do really dark smoky eyes during the day, but it really looks like too much on me. This is called Luxurious Bling, and it's like a shifting shade. I guess you can use it to kind of change the look of anything in here. So the mattes are on top, and on the bottom are like just wow with the shimmer. And then the bottom here is like that shifting shade. So you could use it as a highlight too if you wanted. This is the Declutter pile. There's 7, 8, 9, which not bad. I mean, it's pretty good. Okay, so the keep pile is 22. Those are all Juvia's Place. We have Colored Rain, Melt, the Ace Beauté. I mean, here's a stack of smaller ones. We have this, this, this. I actually thought about decluttering this one, the Persona, but I do want to keep something from this brand in my collection. I'm just like waiting for her to do another palette that's like more like warm toned. I know. Yeah, so I think there's like 22 palettes here. It's not bad. 22, and I got rid of 9, right? Okay guys, I thought about it more, and I will declutter the Cheers to the Beauty and this little mini Persona. So I've decluttered 11, which is slightly better. I mean, I'm not trying to compete with myself. I'm just like, if I feel like I'm gonna get rid of it, shouldn't I just get rid of it now instead of like getting rid of it later, right? Okay,